Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
And I am Tom.
And we are your astute wind counselors to get you through the week with any daily grind issues you may be experiencing or any problems you want us to resolve for you whatsoever. So let's get to our first winner. Our first winner is Larry, and he hails from Reno, Nevada, and he writes, Dear Win, what's the best as seen on TV gift to give my girlfriend for Christmas? Is it chocolate-covered strawberries, a giant Vermont teddy bear, a pajamagram, or something else? What do you think, Tom?
Well, as seen on TV, there is a lot of those sections now popping up in Walgreens and Ace Hardwares across the country.
Good point.
And I just want to know if how's the gambling down there?
Oh, in Reno?
In Reno.
Yeah, man, Larry, that's a follow-up. How is the gambling up there? I've never been to Reno. Have you been to Reno, Tom?
No, but they do have gambling, right?
Yeah, they do. It's just like Vegas, just I think a scaled-down version of it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
pretty much all of it's, open casino stuff.
Like
out
a
there.
big Black Hawk.
Right. It's like a big Black Hawk. It's a big Black Hawk. That's exactly what it is. Huh. Well, I mean, I don't know how the gambling is out in Reno, but do you think he should go then to a Walmart and get an as-seen TV gift, and then she thinks that he ordered it from TV? Because, of course, nothing exudes class for Christmas like buying a gift that says as seen on TV on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's got to be kitchen related. I mean, I'd go for that. Definitely, Larry. I mean, go into Walgreens, find something kitchen related or hairdressing related, like the most latest hairdryer type invention.
Yeah.
I mean, there's better ones than chocolates and teddy bears. Teddy bears are, they're kind of a fire hazard. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially, I think those like Vermont teddy bears are like 6 feet tall and stuff.
Well, yeah, especially if you smoke in bed like I do.
Uh-huh. And then that thing gets set on fire, and then your bedroom's up like that.
It goes up quick. Trust me, it's happening.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, so you stay away from that, and you're thinking more of hair care products or something down those lines. What about that thing that they have that's like I think it was an as-seen TV thing where you hook up like this, vacuum cleaner thing to your hair dryer and then sucks up your hair in order to frizz it and stuff. Have you ever seen that, like in a hollow tube, plastic tube?
No,
Right.
I haven't seen that one yet. I mean, that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, that sounds like something that every girl needs. Use to frizz up their hair.
Yeah, especially if we're doing some more partying at the 80s clubs.
Yep. Bringing back the Pat Benatar kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of hot.
I like it.
I think I would go with Tom there, Larry. What you need to do is forget about wasting time ordering on TV. Make it quick. Go to your local Walmart. Grab something from there. As a matter of fact, if you can buy something there that you thought, well, Tom said I should get something that's a hair care product or something that has to do with the kitchen, and it wasn't even actually seen on TV. It doesn't have the sticker. Just take a red marker and write it in. I mean, she won't know.
Yeah, write it on there, as seen on TV.
As seen on TV. Yeah. Perfect.
Even a toothbrush,
as seen on TV. Absolutely. Okay, let's go on to our next winner, and that's Bant from Amsterdam, Holland. And he writes, Dear Win, did you hear about the 41-year-old Dutch guy here in Holland who underwent assisted suicide for his alcoholism? What do you think, and how would you like to die if you could control it? So the guy killed himself because he was an alcoholic at the age of 41. He decided he wanted to commit assisted suicide, and the government granted it to him after I don't know how long he petitioned for it. But I mean that's pretty holy cow, no question about it. Huh. What do you think about that, Tom? You think that was, at 41, do you think you should give up on life if you're an alcoholic, or you just say try to find another way to maybe cure the disease?
Man, I mean, they possibly have given up on life at 41 already, but I don't know if getting assisted suicide actually takes care of the problem.
I mean, it is pretty aggressive, no question about it.
That's an aggressive solution.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most aggressive solution I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Whether you're 90 or you're 3.
Right.
Right. I mean,
and to be like perfectly, it's not like that he didn't have dementia, he didn't have terminal cancer. It wasn't like something that was, a curable, non-curable illness or something,
right.
that he was going to die in 6 months. He just decided that he's been an alcoholic for so long. He's been fighting it for so long and relapsed so many times from treatment. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to go out. And
they actually supported that in the country.
Yep.
He's probably having system failure and stuff too.
Yeah, he may have. But I remember, from what I understand, if I remember this correctly, I think the first morning he was drinking beer and wine, having cheese and salami, was joking around, all jovial about it, and then a couple hours later he was dead. They put him to sleep. Yeah.
Maybe Holland needs to be bombed or something, because that's just not right.
Clearly.
I mean, you think about it. If you're, that's just something's wrong with that country. I mean, I don't care who you are. I mean, if you're 10 years old and General Mills goes out of business and you can't get Apple Jacks and, all the sugary cereals, and you complain to the United States that you want to die at 8 years old, it's not going to happen.
That's a good point.
It's not going to happen.
And that's probably a valid addiction too, because, by the time we're our age, you're completely addicted to sugar.
Well, sugar's more addictive than alcohol for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you have it pretty much every single day. And then if you complain and say, look, I want to have assisted suicide because I can't, stay off the Apple Jacks,
right?
Or the Cocoa Pebbles or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I tell you what, now, how would you want to go out, though? Because that's the second part of his question. He says, how would you like to die if you could control it? Since obviously the guy in Holland did have a way to control his own death at the age of 41.
Oh, how would you want to go out?
Oh, man. I think I'd want to go skydiving without a parachute.
Right.
Yep. Just jump out of an airplane, have a minute and a half, 2 minutes of a last hurrah, see if I can actually reenact an eagle or something, and then see how far I can get before I pow right into the ground. And then it's kind of like, almost like Warner Brothers. It's almost like the Roadrunner running into a brick wall, and makes that perfect outline of his body.
Right.
And he's like 10 feet into a brick wall. I would just be 10 feet into the ground.
Right. Huh. Yeah, that's a tough one. I that's a crazy way to do it, but I'm trying to think of one myself. I mean, the one that pops to mind is getting the fastest racing boat and go out in the ocean and go as far as I can before it crashes or I drown.
Okay, so it either crashes into something or it runs out of gas, and then you're stuck out in the middle of the ocean and you wouldn't call for help, and then you just drown or die of dehydration or something.
Right, but there's at least a 1% chance that I could live.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the better way.
And there's always a chance that you could change your mind.
Right.
The difference is if I jump out of an airplane without a parachute, I'm not changing my mind.
You're right.
I'm pot committed at that point, and I'm doing the Roadrunner thing.
They can swoop in and save you.
Possibly, you're right. Maybe I could have one of the X-Men come in and grab me.
Right.
Before I do the Wile E. Coyote right through the ground of the cornfield up by Boulder or something.
Or Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah. Mission Impossible.
That's true. Yeah. And I take that back about bombing Holland. I don't really mean that, because if we didn't have Amsterdam, we wouldn't have Colorado marijuana.
That's a good point. So, and if we also didn't have Holland, we wouldn't have tulips. And tulips are very important for Valentine's Day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Holland exports more tulips than anyone else in the world.
That's
important.
Where those come from.
That's where those tulips come from. They come from Holland.
Holla.
Holland.
Huh.
That's right. All those pretty colors and all the different variations of tulips. Man.
I thought you were talking about the drug.
Yeah.
Not the flower.
No.
Oh.
No, not like tulips, but tulips the flower.
The flower. Okay. Okay. I heard there was a drug called tulips.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
I've never tried it.
All right. James from Chicago, Illinois writes, Dear Win, what are your thoughts on backstage groupies? Backstage groupies, huh? Well, Tom, what do you think about that? I mean, I know back in the day, you did a lot of stuff with bands and stuff, so you probably saw a lot of this stuff going on. What are your thoughts on backstage groupies?
I think it would be a dream come true for a lot of people to be involved in a backstage groupie situation if you're in a band, but not in like an ice cream social or some kind of Tupperware party. I mean,
got it.
Or for that matter, I mean, not to
like a holiday party, like for example, if they're renting out a convention center, like a big office holiday party, and then in the backstage where the cooks come out, or at a wedding where they bring out the food, you don't want to be a backstage groupie there. You're talking about strictly in a band situation.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to be in a backstage groupie at a Pentecostal church.
That's a good point. That, and you know what? And James did not clarify what kind of backstage groupies he's talking about, so that I really appreciate you picking up on that, Tom.
Right. Absolutely.
Because you're right. I mean, what are your thoughts about being a Pentecostal backstage groupie, or being a backstage groupie at a wedding or at a convention or something?
Right. Yeah. There's certain, conventions, and there's stages, and every stage is a backstage, and you're a groupie if you're back there with a bunch of people.
Yep.
And there's a lot of different things going on stage.
Yep. You know what, James? Normally I would say there's no such thing as a bad question, but that was a horrible question because you did not specify. And Tom brought up a very valid point on what kind of groupie we're talking about, and we don't know that answer. So therefore, we cannot give you our divine, pristine, absolutely omnipotent advice on what we think about backstage groupies because you didn't clarify which one.
No, don't take it personal, James. Don't move to Holland or anything.
Right.
I'm just telling you that.
Definitely not move there after the bombs start falling. You know what I mean? Raise your tulips in Chicago and then sell them to Whole Foods and everywhere else when Valentine's Day comes around. You know what I mean? And that's our answer there. And I'll tell you what, we're going to give you, though, one more little piece of inspiration to get you through the rest of the week, known as Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status, Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
Here is your current horoscope for December. If you're a new school, you're an Ophiuchus, or an old school, you're a Sagittarius, and you're gonna end up in a box smelling your children's socks on the way to an abandoned iPhone factory in China if you do not donate at least $1 to a homeless person this month. Thank you for listening to Win Improv Network. Live Sundays, 8 to 9 p.m. or actually it's on Mile High Sports Radio. And it's on Facebook at World Improv Network. Excuse me, I'm clearing my voice. It's Twitter at World Improv Net, YouTube at World Improv Network, and iTunes, Google Play Podcast, and at World Improv Network.
Thanks for listening to Win on Mile High Sports Radio. Don't forget to be a winner and interact with the cast by sending your suggestions or questions for each show segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, on Twitter at World Improv Net, or by calling into the Mile High Sports Radio studio line on Sundays before or during the show. See you next week.